once again, a link has gone missing. And Adam, well, you're with us on Zoom now, so I guess you found the Zoom link.
I was looking desperately for the Zoom link,
Yeah.
but it wasn't there.
Great. So just so you know, I want you to look in now. Your computer, are you seeing anything move around? A mouse moving? Anything sort of happening that you're not doing?
I see a rat. I don't see a mouse.
The rat you see is Travis, who sent you the Zoom link. Travis, good job.
Squeak, I say.
Squeak, he says. Well,
I always said Travis was squeaky clean, so hey, you know.
But we know that's the thing, is that we talked about it last week, that just like identity theft can happen within a family and often does, hacks can also happen that way. And sadly, perversely, screwed upedly, spouses send each other bad links.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on your relationship, of course, but yeah, it happens.
Beware of friends and spouses sending links.
Well, that's like something like, hey, check this out. Like, oh, thank you for your bank account. See you later, dude. Yeah.
Unlike the old saw, sharing is caring, in the case of cyber, sharing may not be caring.
About your privacy, or
anything, depending upon with whom you share or who has shared with you.
Or alternately, it's caring about a fact that you're not divulging, right? So you send a link and now you get to find out what's really going on.
You found out about the facts that I haven't been divulging?
Oh man. Travis, did we find out about the facts he hasn't been divulging?
Yes.
What are they?
He's a big Celine Dion fan.
You found out.
Our hearts will go on.
Okay, so did you guys see the story about the survey that was conducted by the Identity Theft Resource Center, where one of the sections of the survey talked about social media and the fact that attacks on social media have gone up over 1,000% in this past year? And in particular, Instagram was the hardest hit. Many of them said they were unable to get them back and had absolutely no response whatsoever or any helpful response from the social media platforms. We certainly know this because a lot of people we know have had the experience.
Yeah, it's shocking, but it's not surprising, certainly.
Look, people want their little oxytocin pop, their little endorphin pop, their little serotonin pop, whatever pop you get out of being on social media, they want it. But they don't want to mess around with all the garbage you have to wade through to do it. They just want their fix.
Give me everything.
Give me everything.
What we're really talking about today, though, is who do you trust? And people tend to trust people on these platforms. And if it looks legit, well, that's what's going on. People saying, I'm not leaving. This looks pretty good. And it came from a friend, a spouse. It's how you get caught up.
The thing with Instagram, too, is the fact that since it's very much a photo and video-based platform, that can give up a lot of information that makes it a lot easier to compromise an account.
Well, but I don't think that's the issue. Sorry. I think the issue is people are on there. They get on there for their fix, their daily, their hourly, their minutely fix. And they don't like it when it's not available to them, and they panic when they're told they did something wrong. I think it's as simple as that.
Fair enough.
Welcome to What the Hack, a show about hackers, scammers, and the people they go after. I'm Adam, Cyberman who made Bo paranoid.
I'm Bo, cyber no longer paranoid, cyber stealing your information, Adam.
And I'm Travis, just plain cyber snowball of insecurity.
And today we're going to hear a story of bookkeeping gone very possibly, maybe wrong. Philippa.
Hey there, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Gentlemen, Philippa Ward.
Hi there.
Hello.
Superwoman, wine connoisseur, real estate maven, mogul in training, all of the above.
Oh, that's very sweet.
Philippa, welcome to our show. Now, I know Philippa for almost 12 years now.
What? 12 years?
12 years.
Okay.
And she looks younger than when we met.
Huh.
And Philippa's a good friend of my wife Heather's. And we all met in New York City. Philippa is no longer in New York City. She's actually had a very interesting life the past several years. Not that her life wasn't incredibly interesting before the past several years. But so, Philippa, where are you coming to us from right now?
I'm coming to you from St. Helena in the Napa Valley.
And I think you have some connection to Napa Valley, don't you?
I do. I was born and raised here, and that's because my family is in the wine industry here. We have a small family-run winery that's been around for a little over 40 years. But in addition to that, I also do, I'm a real estate broker for kind of high-end wineries, vineyards, estate homes, that sort of thing.
And do you sell wineries?
Yes. Yeah.
You do. I was joking. You sell
Oh,
wineries.
really? Yeah. Actually, for example, I have a winery listed right now for about 19 million. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So what do I get with this winery? Do I get some?
You get a pretty large production facility.
Uh-huh.
You get 12 and a half acres of vines. You get a very valuable permit to make about 100,000 cases, and you get some office space.
I'll take it.
If you buy 6 wineries, do you get 10% off? Sorry, dad
actually,
joke.
if you're in the biz, you get like 20% off. So.
I thought, Travis, that was actually a great question myself.
Oh, wow. That's terrible. So I was
just sowing the seeds here. Sowing the
Oh,
seeds.
man. All right. Well, so you sell wineries. I'm in the business of buying wineries. So this is great. Let's not talk about what happened to you. I don't want to hear it. I just want to do business. Adam will be negotiating the mortgage for me, right, Adam?
Oh, totally.
Yeah, great.
Totally.
And
It'd be
Travis,
a 90% mortgage.
and Travis is my, wait, 90%.
Interest, yes.
Okay, forget it. I don't want that. You know, this recession's driving me crazy. I don't want to have anything to do with it right now.
The big question is Napa Valley ready for Bo? We don't know. You'll find out.
We will find out, I guess. Just let me know when you're on your way.
We'll do. It'll be in 10 or 12 years.
So, Philippa, what brings you to us today? What happened?
What happened? I've been a longtime user of Quicken for my business. Now I kind of have everything linked up to it so that it automatically downloads, all my credit card information, loan information, things like that. And it had been misbehaving. It was not downloading the transactions appropriately. It would say, Quicken can't, service your link to Bank of America right now, and then it started doing it to Chase too. So then it was like a systemic thing that I could identify that it wasn't just me screwing up. It was actually the system.
It was one account at first and then it snowballed, or was it, how did that work?
Yeah, it was kind of one account. And then I had gotten some sort of notice saying you need to relink your account. And so then I tried to relink my account with a second bank and it wouldn't do it. And it wouldn't download from Bank of America or Chase. And then I was like, well, that's actually 5 accounts out of the, say, 10. So that's kind of a problem. And that's kind of how I run my business, with using a specific Chase credit card for everything.
And had you updated it recently or anything? Or
no, it just kind of happened out of the blue. There was no rhyme or reason to it. And it would do American Express, no problem, but not Chase and not Bank of America.
See, it was a plot by American Express, I think, in order to ace out the other guys.
Oh my gosh. So you're really going there, Adam. That's your theory.
Quicken became Sloken.
So what happened next, Philippa?
I was getting frustrated, and I'd had really good service with Quicken when I had called them previously with an issue. And so I just, on my phone, Googled Quicken support, hit call from the Quicken support. It said literally Quicken support with the Quicken logo, and it was a 1866 number. I dialed the phone number, and a gentleman with an Indian accent picked up the phone and asked me how he could help me. He also asked me what I think my membership account or, the email associated with my member account, which would be pretty standard, I think, for Quicken to ask me that.
Yeah. It would also be very standard for you to be reaching out to a call center that was in India. India has one of the best tech service industries in the world.
Absolutely. It did not feel odd to me at that point. And we kind of went through what my issue was. He said, well, in order to help you better, why don't I take control of your computer? You can give me control of your computer and we can kind of check a few things and things like that. And that also didn't seem strange to me because about a year ago when I had done some work with Quicken support previously, they had also taken control of my computer and been able to, help, I was following along visually while he was kind of running through some tests and things like that. So that was also not strange to me at that point.
Okay, so he was in your computer, though. You could actually see him moving your mouse around.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And how did he get in exactly?
They sent me I believe they sent me a link that I clicked on in order to offer them the option to take control of my screen.
Got it.
Do you remember the URL that the link came from?
Or did it not register at all?
It didn't register at all. A little company, screen pops up and says, hey, you're, offering somebody access to your screen. And I didn't think anything of it at that point.
Everything you've told us right now sounds, based on my experience and the rest, very natural and normal. Mm-hmm. So what happened next?
So they kind of went through and said, looks like your software is working just fine. That's not an issue at all. It seems like your data is corrupted and that is not allowing you to update your transactions from, multiple credit cards or bank or whatever.
I don't understand how your data would be corrupted. Was it explained to you? Like, what was the data that was corrupted? The bank data?
Yeah, the bank data was corrupted, and they said, well, we ran a scan.
Yeah. And
the scan shows us, and we're really glad that you called now because it's less than 50% corrupted. Uh-huh. And I said, that sounds fake to me.
Okay, that sounds incredibly fake. And it also Chase, bank is really in the business of sending out corrupted data because they don't know what they're doing at all. I mean, come on.
It did not end there. I said, I feel like I'm being held over a barrel. In order to get my data back, I have to pay you. And I questioned them. And he said, no, you don't have to pay me to get your data. You have to pay me in order for us to uncorrupt your data so that you can use it moving forward. Because I see that you have, 15 years worth of data here.
Did that sound weird to you when he said he needed to uncorrupt your files?
Yes. And I pushed back verbally and said, this doesn't feel right. I don't think I should have to pay this fee. I think that I'd like to speak to your manager. And they transferred me to another gentleman who had basically the same story, which makes me think they're all sitting in a room together, listening to one another. And they said, we don't charge your credit card as, your Quicken subscription does. We don't take credit cards. And I said, okay, I kind of am in a bad spot because I need this data. And he said, well, you can do an ACH transfer or write us a check.
Oh, weird.
And I said, that seems awfully strange to me. And he's like, well, it's a different portion of our business than the subscription, which bills your credit card.
That's interesting that they would say a check. Yeah, because you could stop a check.
I mean, my local hardware store takes a check, but only because they know me.
How much were they saying it would cost to uncorrupt?
$750.
Whoa, okay. They were not being gentle.
Nope.
No.
Philippa, can we go back one moment? Tell us again how you got in touch with Quicken.
I feel stupid, but I just, on my phone, Googled Quicken support, and there was a ad that was the top of the list.
Oh, whoa, that old chestnut.
Yes.
So it sounds like you know what happened.
Yes.
The search result you clicked on was fake.
Yeah.
And it was the first link. And I'm guessing this first link that you found on Google, dun dun dun, was a sponsored link.
Yeah. But it looked so real. I mean, I'm pretty intuitive and like actually kind of pay attention to where the link goes and, things like that. But it looked so professional. It looked just like how Quicken, even the same font as the Quicken, kind of when you actually got the real one, it was even the same font.
Ouch. Okay. So we know that now, but what did you do when you were on the phone with the fake Quicken and they were trying to get you to pay to uncrypt your data?
So this is what I did. I felt that it was strange. So I logged into my phone bank account for Bank of America and I froze my account.
Okay. Smart.
And then I issued them the ACH. So I gave them the money, but not in a real way because I was suspicious.
Very smart.
So you you froze your account and then gave them the ACH for that account?
Yes.
So what was going on in your computer the whole time you were on the phone with these guys?
The screen was scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling.
Scrolling where? What were they scrolling through?
It was scrolling so quickly. It looked like kind of a blank black screen, and then it had tons of data just scrolling up and down.
It sounds to me like they had entered the Matrix and were in DOS.
Yeah, I was about to say, that sounds like that wasn't just a Quicken. That sounds like they were actually going through the contents of your entire computer.
Absolutely. And they said, you need to leave your computer on for 3 to 5 hours until this stops.
Oh,
Whoa!
wow.
Oh, these are really courageous criminals. They really just have a lot of, they have a, I mean, my kids call this BDE, but I'm going to leave that alone. They had some swagger though, huh?
Yeah, they're like, oh, don't worry, you can leave, and go do whatever you need to do, but you need to leave your computer running.
Wow, these are grade A. These are grade A criminals.
They were very professional. They were very professional. They knew exactly what they were doing. They used most of the right lingo. So when he said, okay, well, just leave your computer running, and we got off the phone, but he confirmed my cell phone number and my email and things like that, I immediately had a very bad feeling and Googled Quicken's real number, which is a 650 number, by the way. That's important for everyone to know if they ever call Quicken support. It is not a 1-800 number. It is a 650 number. I spent 20 minutes on hold waiting for somebody at Quicken to pick up. And in that time, I went through all of my accounts and froze everything and went on to my Equifax, I believe, and froze my credit because I was paranoid about what they had gotten into. I didn't know. And so once I got on the phone with a Quicken employee who was very good, he said, that is absolutely not us. We don't offer a service like that. Shut your computer down immediately. And so I did. Shut my computer down, restarted it. Then my phone started ringing. And it was a whole bunch of different numbers. And it was at one after another, after another, after another. And most of them were from like Southern California.
And did you pick any of them up or no? Okay.
I didn't pick it up because I knew it wasn't anybody I knew, and I knew it was the people that I had just hung up with. So as far as I can tell, nothing bad has happened. They were probably real pissed that I stopped their scan of my entire computer. And that's why they were calling me. As soon as I shut it down is when my phone started ringing.
Without question, when you called the real company, you had a real sense of authenticity because you had to wait.
I had to wait for 20 minutes on
That's the
hold.
thing. The criminals there are like that.
So while they were in your computer and you were on with Quicken and you were going to your different accounts and freezing them or changing your passwords, were you doing that on your phone?
Yes.
Because your computer was otherwise engaged.
It was.
Say.
Wow. I mean,
I
really,
was
that
doing
was.
it on my phone while I was on the call.
And your computer was like going berserk still. Wow.
Yeah, just data scrolling. It never changed. It never flipped pictures or anything like that. It was a dark background and it was data just scrolling down the screen.
I want to go back to the ad itself that you saw. You said it looked a lot like Quicken's branding. Did it give you a number to call, or did it give you a click to call this number?
It was an 866 number. I can probably go back.
The way that Google Ads can work sometimes is they'll give you one phone number, but then they will change it so they can record whether or not someone's calling it. So it'll be a forwarder, and that can actually be a handy way if you're running a scam to hide the phone number that you're going to be contacting.
Yeah. I think I was looking for a support chat initially, and then just found that, and it had the Quicken logo, and that was it.
One click, sometimes all you need.
That's for sure.
Well, the sponsored ads are such a trick. Even when I'm going on a site that I use regularly, I often have, it's now a mental note. I scroll down 3 or 4 results because Google, for better or for worse, I think mostly for worse in terms of my experience as a user, puts results that I'm not looking for up top because they've sold ads on those. So it is like,
Yep.
I guess it's similar to waiting for your, television program to start while ads run, but it's sort of, that's what's happening there.
It's even sneakier than that because the way that Google Ads work is more or less on an auction model. So if you were to say, I'm going to pay top dollar for this one search result, that will be the thing that pops up at the top.
Oh, so the criminal can actually say, like, I realize that Quicken has a pretty big marketing budget, but for this one time, we're going to pay $1,000 for this impression. Or whatever it is, because if they're getting $750 from you via ACH or check, and they're in your computer rifling through all of your other files, which means they probably can compromise your financial accounts, which means that they might be able to wire themselves some money. These guys seemed like they were really organized and specifically organized around the concept that if they can liberate your data, they can liberate your money.
It's even sneakier than that, though, because Google Ads won't bill you until you hit a certain threshold. So if you're to say, take a compromised credit card, you can load that into an account, set up an account, and then run that until Google hits, say, $500. And then when they try to bill you, they say, oh, this doesn't work. So you don't even need to front any cash for that.
So they're criming to crime doing other crimes.
Right. And Google also has a bunch of promo codes that say, we'll get you started with $500 worth of ad credit. So what they can say is like, okay, we'll set up a few of these accounts. We have $500 to do this. We're just going to bid really, really, really high for this one search term. And if it happens to work, then we get a good target.
If it doesn't work, Google floated you anyway.
Right.
So,
Google, listen to me. While I wait for my Shopify account to be green lighted, don't listen to these guys. You're great. I think that what you do is wonderful, and there's no problem here whatsoever. Google, you should stop doing that.
well, and sadly, it's pretty easy to create a website these days that looks exactly like an official web page.
Yeah.
So you're being floated by Google. These guys are paying top dollar, except they're not actually paying until they make dollars. And you're taken someplace that looks really, really official, that they're spending part of the money to make it look official.
And it's also not limited just to Google Ads. Right now, by just doing a quick lookup of Quicken support, I see that a couple of people have set up businesses to show up. That the business has the name Quicken support phone number. And so there are 2 places in Google Business that show up. They're both in Victoria, British Columbia. But they're actual places, and it gives you an option to call that. So it looks like what people are doing is setting up fake ads on Google and then fake business listings. So when you're looking at something specific like I need help, what they're doing is they're anticipating that and saying, we'll help you out, just call this number.
And think about, on top of all that, the real company is paying for these ads too. So
Right.
It's good to be Google. Not so good to be consumer, depending upon who comes after you. What is the biggest takeaway that you got from all this? And if someone said to you, what advice would you give consumers based on your experience? What is it?
There are 2 things. One, be really careful about the phone number that you call and make sure that it actually is the company that you Googled for support, and that Quicken has a 650 number. Number 2, if something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't right, and you better listen to your gut. Because I had a gut feeling 3/4 of that call, and I still went along with it, and I shouldn't have.
Even still, though, you did a lot of really clever things, I think. I think freezing your account before giving them the number, that was a very crafty move there, so hats off.
That was OG James Bond stuff.
Yep.
Well done.
But I'm surprised that they didn't immediately try to get into your account and find it frozen and go, oh, there's a problem with your account.
Right.
Maybe you could give us another account.
Well,
Right.
Adam, you know that I like playing around with these hackers and criminals. And
yes, Bo does.
I do. I enjoy it. And they often are a little slow on the uptake, and it's fun. It's the best part, actually, when you get to the point where they realize that you're messing with them. It's really awesome because they don't like it. They really hate it, and they take offense. So you're well on your way to becoming, Philippa, a person who messes with the bad guys. And I encourage you to experience that particular blend of endorphins that you get when you piss off someone who's trying to scam you.
I'll work on getting there. I will definitely try to hone my craft.
So, tangentially related, did the real Quicken actually help you fix Quicken?
Yes, they did.
And they did not charge you extra?
Absolutely not. That is free with my subscription.
So today we talked a lot about how to keep your financials safe, and heaven knows that's critically important. And this brings us to our segment known as Tin Foil Swan, and this is our paranoid takeaway to keep you better protected.
So, Adam, do you leave? I know the answer to this, but I'm going to just tell you the truth. I have my monthly paycheck stubs, my bank account stuff. There's a few things I have that do not exist solely in digital form. They also exist in paper, and I get them via mail. And I also have people in and out of the house all the time because we keep working on the house. It's not a good scenario.
It's a terrible scenario.
Oh, don't sugarcoat it, Adam.
Okay, it really sucks, Bo. Dude, if you're going to get any kind of paper bills or statements or things like that, what you need to do is have a locking, fireproof file cabinet in your home and make sure that it's locked.
Come on, you sound like
Serious.
You should have a tinfoil hat on your head.
I do have a tinfoil hat on my head.
It's in the shape of a swan.
Do you never leave stuff around the house, Adam?
No, but I other people in my house have a tendency to leave stuff around the house. I don't. I have my man cave office, and in that office are locking files, and anytime the mail comes in, I open stuff, put it in the file, and lock the file.
But does it have like one of those locks that Devan Olaf was talking about, a little rinky-dink lock that you can just piddly-paddly through?
I'm sorry, but discretion does not permit me to discuss the locks on my filing cabinets.
How big are your locks? Travis, do you leave stuff around your house?
Do you have lock envy, Bo? I'm just wondering. It's,
Yeah, I do, but I'm also home like 23 and a half hours out of the day, so,
I think it's important, it's sort of like as a corollary to the online stuff we talk about, to talk about security at home, because those documents can be used to answer security questions. I mean, if you have your bank statement, your bank is probably going to be more likely to talk to you if you can tell them what your balance is and what your statement was last month, etc.
nothing more wonderful for a criminal than holding in their little hands a beautiful bank statement or bill where they could get the important numbers off of it.
It's also a way to verify your identity. With a lot of places, they'll say to prove you are who you say you are, show up with a piece of mail with your name on it and some information. So.
Oh, there's that too.
So go paperless, and for everything else, store it away or shred it. And that's today's Tin Foil Swan.
Thanks so much for listening. If you like What the Hack, give it a good rating on Apple or wherever you listen to your podcasts and review it. It's the best way for people to find the show and spread the word. What the Hack with Adam Levin is a production of Loud Tree Media.
It's produced by Andrew Stephen, the man with two first names.
You can find us online at loudtreemedia.com and on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Adam K. Levin.